Hey everyone, welcome back to Swooning over Stans. If you remember from last time, we did the boxing. We got another image that I wasn't mentally prepared for, even though I had previously seen it. I asked Stan to dance. I don't know how much longer we've got on the Stan route, so let's just get into it, I guess. It's later that day, just after dinner, when you get around to telling Stan about your time at the diner. So I guess I'm asking, is it always like that around here? Oh good, we gave him his jacket back. I thought we were gonna hold on to it forever. People talking about my love life? After you've survived Mabel, everyone else is small fry. There's not much to talk about in this town, so when a tourist crashes their car into the jewel of the town at the peak of the season, that's prime material. Enough of that, though. I thought we could have a private movie night, to wind down a little. I keep the movies in that cabinet there. Go on, pick one. You open it up to reveal stacks of VHS tapes and a few DVDs. What do you want to watch? A heart-rending classic drama, a stomach-turning horror film, a documentary that you assume is Ford's. Now, okay. I would pick the horror film. The thing with Stan is that when Stan was a young kid, he liked, there were, horror movies in the young Stan twins' bedroom. And, if you've been on the thisisnotawebsite.com, and you get through all of the Stan Pines prompts, you have to get through all of the eBay things before you go through this huge thing anyways. Eventually, you come across this thing where you can find out that Stan actually married the poster in their room of the 50-foot woman, which also I think is a horror movie. But also there's the line in the show where it's like, you cuddle up to the girl, etc. I don't actually remember the whole line. This would be a moment for if I was streaming to be like, Dragon, get me the quote. That man does so much for me. What a great moderator. A stomach-turning horror film, I don't even care. You pick out a creepy movie about a bizarre swamp creature attacking a bunch of teens at a summer camp. Towards the climax, the teens knock the monster into the lake with a harpoon gun they stole off the quartermaster's fishing boat. Just as it seems as though the fishman is gone for good, the creature's hand bursts up out of the water. You yelp, startled by the cheap jump scare, and Stan chuckles. I would have screamed more than once, but that's fine. Slightly embarrassed, despite it totally not being your fault that your basic instincts are intact, you bury your face into Stan's chest. He seems uncertain for a moment, awkwardly patting you on the back and clearing his throat. I'm so sorry. Okay, when I go to see horror movies, because I'm such a wuss. If you've watched Dredge, you've seen my reaction to the gross fish, you've seen my panic when, the spooky, creepy fish comes for me, those are, legitimate things. I'm such a wimp. But I also, love horror movies. There's just something so great about a good horror movie. There are bad horror movies, which are their own fun thing, but, good horror movies are great. I also tend to not sleep afterwards because I'm traumatized, but, I'll go out with my best friend to, watch a horror movie. In fact, I've convinced her more times than I can count. Hey, I'd be like, hey man, hey bro, you wanna go see a movie with me? And she'll be like, dude, do you wanna see X horror film? And I'm like, yeah, I do. You coming, man? And then she'll come, and then we'll sit there and we'll hold hands in the theater and, like, curl into each other, and we're like... And, like, if it's really bad, sometimes we're like, oh my god, is it over yet? And we're just like... And then other times, it'll be like, I'll be the only one scared in the entire film. She's watching it perfectly fine. And then something happens and I scream so loud that everyone in the theater laughs. And it is so embarrassing. But it's a good time. Who cares? Hey there, it's alright. Flashback already showed how it's gonna end. I still can't look. Gruesome sounds continue from the TV, and slowly, Stan eases the padding into an embrace. The film continues, checking cliché after cliché off the list. Stupidly, when making your selection, you hadn't accounted for one of the most prevalent tropes of all. The final pair of surviving teenagers, believing they've defeated the monster that's killed all their friends, begin making out furiously in triumph, you guess? It's disgusting, really, with hands everywhere and unrealistic noises filling the quiet night of the camp, and subsequently, the living room. Don't worry, I'm also embarrassed, man. I'm sorry. Normally, the sex scene happens at the beginning, not at the end, so... anyways. You can hear Stan's heartbeat start on his chest, and he coughs awkwardly into his fist. You dare not make eye contact, instead lifting your head and shifting away from him. His touch is suddenly too much, and you thank the darkness of the room for hiding the redness of your face. Nothing could hide the redness of my face. It's like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. But it's Sherry the red-cheeked embarrassment. Trying to wait it out, you silently cross your fingers that the couple will get killed off any minute now. But instead, someone's pants start to come off and your brain jolts you to your feet. Haha! Well, it's getting really late. Time to hit the hay! Yeah, agreed. Stan shuts the film off, and in the light of the monitor, you can see his face is slightly red too. He doesn't seem mad or upset, so you relax a little, slowing down enough to take a calming breath. There's no use in being so nervous. And thank you again for the lessons today. My arms are sore, so I assume that means it's working. He grins, giving your shoulder a nice pat. Oh, definitely. Let me know in the morning if you still are. I've got some old tricks that could help. Please don't. Please, you've already touched me enough. Good night, Stan. Good night, Sherry. Good Lord. I feel like that's not good enough. I feel like I'm doing poorly, guys. Snort, snort. Waddles. What in the... When you open your eyes, you're being stared down by a fat, wet snout. Ah! Boink. Oh, Waddles, it's you. The plump pig is lying on your chest, and boy, he's, real hefty. Sherry! Ah! You jolt up at the sudden voice from above you, sending Waddles falling from your chest onto your lap with a scream. You turn to see Mabel, all metal-filled smile and rosy cheeks, barely able to contain her glee, despite nearly scaring the life out of you. Hey there, sleepyhead. It's lunchtime. Is it? What happened at breakfast? A glance at your phone tells you you've slept in past noon. Instead of leaving and letting you get ready for the day, though, Mabel sits right down on the edge of the mattress with you and looks at you expectantly. So, how have things been going with Grunkle Stan? Has he told you about feelings yet? Have you two kissed? You're not sure you would tell her even if either of those did happen. I should be honest with her. This reeks of sarcasm. But I'm just gonna be honest with her. Well, no, neither of those things happened. Okay, maybe there haven't been any milestones, but things are going great, right? What do you think, kid? Absolutely, definitely. And I think you should tell him how you feel. I'll keep that in mind. But can I get changed now? Oh, right, silly. Come on, Waddles. They leave, and you're left to your thoughts. With all the hectic supernatural stuff in Gravity Falls that inexplicably often finds itself in or near the shack, you haven't been able to spend much significant time with Stan since your boxing session. You've only found short moments, like a late-night game of cards that ran longer than expected, because by the end of it, you both just left the deck on the table as you listened to him tell a story about how this one time well, yes, that was a significant amount of time. You just never really wanted those moments to end. And just yesterday, Ford came up to you in the kitchen standing with a bowl of cereal in hand that he was apparently in the middle of eating, basically gave you a condensed version of the, if you break my twin brother's heart, I'll make you regret it. The bowl of cereal turning out to be 95% marshmallows did not make him seem any less intimidating. Yeah. The Ford giving the shovel talk with a bowl full of marshmallows is peak. Amazing. You're not sure why he did that. As far as you know, there's nothing official between you and Stan. Besides, Stan and Ford don't even live on land anymore. They'll be setting sail again, exploring the seas and documenting the oddities of the world. From what you've heard about it already, it's intense stuff that keeps them on the move and untethered. And you're no expert, but your car's looking pretty close to done, meaning you'll be leaving Gravity Falls soon enough. All you can do is hope you're not leaving with any regrets. My heart's full of regrets already. Heading out through the back door so that you don't disturb Seuss's current tour, you round the house to where your car has stood still for the past 2 weeks. Sure enough, there you find Stan, staring thoughtfully into the hood before he spots you and brightens. Hey, how's it hanging, Sherry? Fancy finding you here? How's the car coming along? Ford said you wanted to talk to me. I'm gonna go with fancy finding you here. Outside your own house, where Ford told me you'd be. What can I say? I'm unpredictable. Never know what I'll be up to next. Your car's almost good to go, as far as I can tell. I'm planning to take her for a quick test run around town to make sure. Sounds fun. When do we go? You ain't coming. I don't want you inside if there's an explosion or something. There won't be, but it's a precaution. Oh, okay. But if you are free tonight, I figured we would, celebrate. Yeah, sure. What do you have in mind? Can't tell you. That'd just ruin the surprise. All you gotta worry about is yourself. Meet me back here in a few hours, and wear your best duds. Stan shoots you a wink, twirling your car keys around his fingers before he turns and gets into your car. Unsure why you couldn't go with him and hang out tonight, you wave goodbye and watch carefully as he revs the car to life. It works! And hey, no explosions. He gives you a thumbs up, which you return, and pulls out onto the dirt road towards town. A handful of hours later, it's just about time for you to get ready for your date. Stan got back to the shack a moment ago, and through the window you'd spotted Mabel talking to him outside. Though you couldn't figure out what they were saying, you laughed to yourself when she took his face in her hands, squishing his cheeks and looking him straight in the eye. A cute intimidation tactic, maybe? After rummaging through all the clothes you'd brought with you for your trip, you're relieved to find an outfit that fits the occasion. It's something classic. I mean, I'm currently wearing something kind of classic. Like, sure, it's like the cold shoulder, whatever. It's technically a classic. Yes, I'm dressing up for my dates. No, I'm joking. You feel good about the outfit you chose. You head outside to meet Stan. You step out onto the back porch and are met with his back to you, looking off into the distance. You're about to call his name when he turns in your direction, and your words die on your tongue, speechless at the sight of him. Oh, hello, friend. You look nice. Wow, these are useless to me. I don't need these. You guys can just read this while I don't look, right? Wow, okay, alright. I can't look anywhere. I can't look anywhere. It's everywhere. He looks handsome. Your eyes catch on the way his gold chain glints in the light, drawing your attention to his proudly exposed chest, helpfully framed by the cut of his shirt. The buttons almost strain to contain how good he looks, and your gaze follows the line lower to how... Girl, stop. Stop. Stan whistles playfully at the sight of you. Aren't you a sight for sore eyes? You're not so bad yourself. You sure clean up nicely. You give him a once-over, as though you hadn't already been looking earlier. Stan's cheek flushed the faintest pink as he smooths out his jacket in response, posture straightening proudly. This look used to be all the rage back in the day. Trends may fade, but Stan Pines has still got it. He sure fucking does. So, where to? Hands in his pocket, Stan nods over to the Stanmobile, a few feet in front of you. Only one way to find out. He offers his arm and escorts you to the passenger side, opening and shutting the door for you before heading over to the driver's side. While you were already looking forward to this, the way Stan looks makes you all the more eager. And that cologne, it suits him. Told you, dirty mouth breather, just huffing it in. Just huffing it in. You watch him thinking to yourself just how crazy this all is. Your brain is telling you to get a grip, but your cheeks are beginning to ache from smiling so much, and you can't bring yourself to mind. The El Diablo soon purrs to life and you're on your way. Since you don't know your destination, you're not sure how long the ride will be. Not like you mind at all. I love car rides. I love quiet car rides. I love car rides with the radio. I like conversing in. I love. You can tell I'm a passenger. Nobody who likes to nobody enjoys driving, from what I understand. Great conversation. You always this mysterious with your dates, luring them off into the night with a promise of a good time? Stan chuckles. Nah, only the ones I like being around. Good to know. Besides, you should definitely know what to expect from a drive with me by now. Crime. The unexpected? Bingo. I was gonna say crime. We committed 2 crimes in one night in one car, so... You gaze out the window again, unable to keep the smile from your face. Another minute or so passes before Stan speaks again. Alright, we're almost there. Close your eyes. Really? Yes, really. And I've got a blindfold in the glove box if you can't stop yourself from peeking. Somehow, it sounds like he's not joking about that last part. After what you've seen with him, it wouldn't be a surprise. No, I'm gonna comment on it. You laugh and cover your eyes with your hands. We can save that for another time. I promise I won't peek. You can't see, but somehow your instincts tell you he's flushed red from that. He laughs, pleased. You keep your eyes closed for another minute or two as Stan begins to tell you about the time he was hogtied and blindfolded by some thugs on the side of a desert road. Just as he gets to the good part about how he had to hitchhike using only his nose, the car comes to a stop. You both hear and feel Stan put the car into park, and realize there's muffled music not too far from you. Can I look now? Hold on. Stan exits the car, and the footfalls tell you he's walking to your side. In a second, he's there, opening your door. Can I look now? Stan chuckles. Unless you can walk with your eyes closed. You open your eyes to see a rundown diner. Greasy's diner, to be exact. The building is about as slightly shabby in appearance as it was when you last visited, but under the glowing "We Have Food" sign is an endearingly hand-painted banner reading "Disco Night." Through the windows, you can spot energetic silhouettes and flashing multicolored lights. Hardly grandiose, but it's still beautiful. Oh my god, Stan. He takes your hand and helps you out of the passenger seat. What? You don't like it? You remembered. The dancing. I was like, hey, we should dance sometime. And you remembered. I know you've been dying to see the magic I make on the dance floor. Seemed cruel to keep you waiting any longer. What an honor. Let's get going already. Tease him. Well, we'll see if you can keep up, old man. Ho-ho, now you're in for it, kid. Hold on to your socks. The rainbow with the lights! I love this. This is so great. This is amazing. As you step inside, you're greeted by the sight of a dance floor. A disco ball reflects fragments of colorful spotlights all around the room, and even the cow skull above the jukebox has string lights wrapped around its horns. There's a good amount of people here. It's mostly older adults, which is unsurprising given the music genre, but there are a few younger folks who seem to be enjoying themselves, unironically. You're surprised you don't see Mabel and her friends here. You finally look back at Stan and catch him pretending he wasn't just watching you for your reaction seconds earlier. You didn't do all this just for me, did you? Nah, it's a monthly thing that picked up a while back. I lend them some equipment for it every time, but I may have knocked it up a week or 4. He's smirking. He's so proud of himself. You roll your eyes, but give him a fond smile. Well then, let's dance already. Grabbing Stan's hand in yours, you lead him onto the dance floor, and he follows eagerly. Alright, we can start you off with something easy. Nah, I need to see your moves first. Make sure you're the real deal. Sorry, I'm trying to take off my socks. It's like cold in the mornings, and then by like the time the afternoon evening hits, it's warm. It's fine. Got any requests then? Dab. Sorry, every time I see Dab, all I can think about is Lazy Town, because Sporticus I was always just like, and I'm like, come on now, man. I'm trying to, like, think. I mean, the Foxtrot's great. Not the young buck I used to be, but I still got some Lindy Hop in me. Isn't that a different dance? That's not the point. So you're not gonna throw me around like a ragdoll. Got it. Please, I'd never do that in public. Unless you ask nicely. It's fine. It's fine. I just have to ask nicely and he'll just toss me around. Right? Oh boy, and you dance. Before you know it, the song is passed, and then another, and another. You weren't too sure at first, but Stan's actually a really good dancer. He's light on his feet, and he's definitely got rhythm. He knows just where to guide you, how to hold you. Oh god, you hope your hands aren't sweaty. Are you sweaty? Your face sure feels hot when he shoots you a wink before leading you to a half turn that lands your back flush against his chest. I'm sweaty. I'm sweating right now. I'm sitting here in my chair with the pulse of a creature who is being hunted for sport. Wow! I also can't dance. This is a figment of my imagination. None of this is happening. You keep it up pretty good, Sherry. You having fun? I'm having a blast. He asks... Oh, stop. He asks low in your ear in a way that makes your heart flutter as you sway together. Only because I have such an amazing partner. I could say the same thing. Stan laughs, brings you back to face him, but the song ends only seconds later and he releases his hold on you. It's a slow song, and Stan raises his brow at you questioningly. Come on, it's a slow dance. You've been having fun, like, sock hopping about. Of course you want to continue! Laughing, you take his hand in yours again and guide it back to your side. Stan beams and brings you closer still, please. We need space for Jesus here. Space for Jesus. We need space for Jesus. You're about to press your palms against his chest, but change your mind and rest them on his broad shoulders. You're almost nervous to look him in the eye, but when you chance to glance upward, you're so pleased with what you see. You've been close before, intimately even, but this is a whole new ballpark. Face to face, moving slowly as one, nothing to distract the one from the other's gaze. You try not to think about how good he smells, or how comforted and electrified his hold makes you feel, and you definitely try not to think about how a slight lean forward would easily bring his lips to yours. The song changes again, almost too soon, you think, but Stan just picks up his tempo to match, keeping your proximity the same. By now, you don't even have to look at your feet. The pace quickens, and you both get caught in it. A swing, a twirl, another swing, and you're dipped in Stan's arms so smoothly that it takes you a split second to realize why you're nearly upside down. He dipped me. Remember that whole not throwing me around in public unless I ask nicely? I don't remember asking to be tossed around like a rag doll. Stan's grinning down at you, panting from the intense bout, holding the dip. We're in a public space. See, if my bestie was here, she'd be judging me so harshly right now. Because I'm always the one who's all like, oh, you should do this, you should do that, like, and then I don't follow my own advice. I'm speechless, like, Guys, I'm so torn. I mean, I can always replay it. I can always... I'm trying to listen to my inner bro. Just like, bro, help. Bro, help me. I'm speechless. Surely there are stars in your eyes as your gaze holds Stan's in amazement. Apparently, pleased at what he sees, he laughs and brings you back up into his arms to finish off the dance just as the song ends. A quick glance around the room lets you know that most of the surrounding patrons were watching the two of you dance. They look away as you notice, some whispering and some getting back to their own technique. It's Stan who speaks first. I'm so glad I didn't kiss him because that would have been mortifying. Like, having an audience? I mean, like, that's some Hallmark crap, but, like, ugh. You hungry? I'm getting emotional whiplash here. Not what you were expecting, but you're kind of relieved he's keeping the mood light. I'm pretty thirsty. Like, when I go... I don't, but, like, when I was younger and I would occasionally, like, go to, like, dances in school and stuff, I got, like, wicked thirsty all the time from... No, that's a lie. I went to a couple raves when I was a young adult. Man, my life sure is fascinating, huh? I'm pretty thirsty. I'll get you a soda or something. Instead of waiting for a server to come by, Stan goes straight to the counter to order. You sit down in a pleasantly unsticky booth to wait for him and notice that Stan left his jacket on the seat next to you. Dirty mouth breather. In no time, Stan returns with 2 orders of fries and 2 shakes. He grins when he sees his jacket draped over your shoulders. Hope you don't mind. I was feeling a bit chilly. Yeah, see? I have cold shoulders, so you just put it on. You just shrug it on. Nah, that one looks good on you. It's not wet this time. It's... Wow! He sits, sliding in right next to you. Oh god, he's sitting next to me instead of across. Good lord. It's been a long time since I just got fries and a shake from an old diner. Not usually something people my age do, I guess. I mean, you're different. They just don't know how to have a good time, and when was the last time? When was the last time? Sweet Moses, decades ago, long before you were born, I'm sure. I'm not that young. Does it live up to the nostalgic I was born in the wrong era hype? Oh, price-wise, absolutely. Shakes were 35 cents and fries were 30 tops. At that price point these days, I could buy lunch for the whole town. Of course, I wouldn't, but you get what I mean. He laughs, stirring his shake with a straw. I literally, I got my hair done, if you hadn't noticed, in the last 2 videos I uploaded. But if this is your only video that you watch for me, my hair is different, I'm sure you've noticed. It's fun, right? My friend and I, and by my friend and I mean she did all of the work, my bestie, an angel and a saint she is. We spent way too long on my hair. But we had dinner first, and we split an alcoholic milkshake. It was pretty good. It was like a mudslide. It was so good. Must have been nice being able to afford basic necessities and luxuries, minimum wage being up to par and all. Hey, thought we were supposed to be having fun here. I am! Creating a dialogue is important. Ready to dig in properly, you take a fry and dip it into your chocolate shake. Stan, handful of fries ready to be shoved into his gaping mouth, looks at you like you just screamed bloody murder. What? Did you just? What, you've never tried it? No, of course not! It's delicious. Perfect mix of sweet and salty. Honestly, we do that a lot in Canada, except it's with Frosties. We go to Wendy's, we get the Frosties, and the fries, it's a thing. Like, I've straight up just gone to Wendy's to do that. Don't knock it till you try it. He scoffs, picking up a fry and dipping it into your shake instead of his own, and pops it into his mouth. His eyes widen as he chews, silent until he swallows. That's actually not half bad. I'm gonna steal one of his fries. Seizing the moment he's off guard, you reach over and snatch a fry from his plate. Hey! Payback! Stan picks up your shake and takes a big ol' swig. Hey! He sets it back down, licking his lips triumphantly. He's missed a spot, though, and there's a bit of chocolate left on the side of his smirking mouth. I have, on some occasions, literally just reached over and you got something on your face and just, like, wiped it off. Just... Man, we're really obsessed with his mouth today. This is... Hey Stan, you've got some... You lift your hand to his face and wipe the chocolate away with your thumb. Stan's breath hitches at your touch. When you absentmindedly lick the chocolate away, he's nearly beet red. You soon slip into that comfortable silence again as you survey the crowd and the couples on the dance floor. And you licked it off, you absolute godless heathen. Save space for Jesus. Everyone seems to be having a good time. It's nice seeing others simply enjoy something Stan helped put on. It seems he does more good than he likes to admit to himself. When he's not going on a crime sprees or getting arrested, at least. Soon, you're to the ends of your cups and have picked up the last bits of your fries. Hey, you want to get out of here? Lead the way. Man, you're my ride. Soon you're back in the old Diablo. Engine purring to life, Stan screeches out of the little parking lot and onto Main Street. Oh, we gave him his jacket back. With the way he drives, you honestly don't know how he keeps his car in such good shape, even with his mechanic skills. Yeah, he drives like a lunatic. Like, what episode was it? I was on Reddit the other day, and they were, like, going through, like, Stan moments, and one of them was, like, what's the best joke? And it's, like, I don't even know if it was a joke. Anyways, they mentioned the whole... Grunkle Stan, are you also wearing a blindfold? Haha, nah, but with these cataracts I might as well be. Is that a woodpecker? And then just, like, slams through a fence and into the woods. But eventually, your speed becomes reasonable as Stan transitions from the asphalt road to the dirt, and you're left to realize that your quickened pulse isn't due to his driving, but from anticipation. You taking me for some late-night errands again? Nah, thought we could just see where the road takes us. You know, for a small town, it sure is huge. Tell me about it. This forest is more of a trap than the shack. Well, I like it. Not sure if I could make 30 years here. Stan's grip on the steering wheel shifts, but his expression remains neutral. But I just love the feeling this place gives off, the atmosphere and everything. Stan scoffs. You sound like a hippie. Next you'll be talking about good vibes, white energy. Maybe Sue should hire you at the shack after all. You'd make a killing. Shove his shoulder lightly and his expression relaxes into a soft smile. I mean, it's grown on me. Like a fungus, sure. But it has. But I'm not the kind of guy who hikes trails or draws gnomes. That's my brother. I'd rather be in the city than the woods. Way fewer bugs, more people to pickpocket, and not everyone knows my face. So then, how does someone like you end up in a place like this? You said you were from Jersey, right? I know how everyone else got here, but not you. His little voice sound. Stan sighs as if the weight of his whole life story lies with that question. Luckily, he humors you. Long story short. My brother and I had a falling out when we were kids. High school. I got kicked out. Barely talked to him or my parents for 10 years. He moved here. I spent those years bouncing from state to state. Oregon was one of the few I hadn't been banned from. Wow. This isn't the time for an I'm sorry. I know that, so a lot of people are all like, oh, saying I'm sorry is useless, blah, blah, blah. But there's a difference between a sympathy I'm sorry. Wow. You're telling me. Then, one day, he dropped me a line, asked me to come here. I came thinking he wanted to make up, at least talk things out. But he was in a bad place. Basically told me to get lost. What a dick. What? That's awful. Yeah, well, we both made our mistakes that day. We fought, said some things, threw some punches, and suppose now that you know how weird this town is, telling you I accidentally pushed my twin brother through the cosmic portal in the basement, leaving him to fend for himself and hop through dimensions for the next 30 years, isn't as crazy as it would normally be. Your mouth is just... Okay, seriously, you think your jaw might be on the floor. Close your mouth, kid. You'll catch flies like that. I'm gonna ask about him. What about you? You said Ford went through the portal for 30 years, but what did you during that time? Is that what made you start the shack? Yeah. Like I said, I came here because Sixer asked me, but once he was gone, I didn't have anywhere to go, and I wasn't gonna leave till I got him back. Did he really spend 30 years of his life trying to get his brother back? So, I started the Mystery Shack. The locals thought I was my brother and liked the mysterious scientist in the woods shtick, so I had to roll with it. Wait, so you had to pretend to be Ford too? The whole time? Only in name, sweetheart. It's a good thing I always went by Stan anyway. Let me tell you, Stanford Pines was never cooler than when he was me. Caught off guard in your absolute shock, you erupt into laughter. Okay, that I can absolutely believe. By now, it feels like you've been driving for a good while. You're starting to wonder if Stan really does have no idea where he's going. But the thought stops in its tracks as the car makes a sharp turn on a diverging path. You catch the slightest glimpse of a wooden sign reading, "Do not enter." Stan? Where are we going? Relax, Sherry. I know what I'm doing. There's this real hot spot up ahead on the cliff's edge. Lets you see the whole town and the horizon and everything. Real picturesque. That sounds amazing. The car suddenly jerks left, and there's a troubling bump as you go over a large redwood roots. That is, if we don't die before we get there. Sorry, kid. That one was in my blind spot. It's pitch black outside, Stan. Everything's a blind spot. Alright, hold on. One more jump and we're in the clear. Hold on. For the life of God. You grasp the back of your seat in one hand and the car's door handle with another, unsure of how big a bump he has in mind. His car! It's worse than you expected, Stan accelerating enough that you swear the wheels have left the ground, until landing hard enough that Stan finds it necessary to brace you with his own arm, keeping you from slamming your head into the dashboard. Why would you take it at speed? The Stanmobile pulls up to its destination at the cliff's edge, just as Stan said. You have a perfect view of the whole town, the surrounding canyon, and the remarkably saucer-esque shape cut in the natural bridge. Because it is a saucer shape. You catch Stan's pleased grin from the corner of your eye as you gasp, taking it all in. Though the sun has long since set, the small glowing streetlights from the small town illuminate the surrounding trees, providing only a slight hint of the mountain's shadows. It's not until seeing it from up here like this that it sinks in just how secluded from the world Gravity Falls is. It's almost like a hidden treasure among the evergreens. And through the black, thick forestry behind where you're parked might seem daunting alone at night, here with Stan, it just feels promising. So I'm guessing you like it, right? It's beautiful. As you survey the scene, you realize this cliff seems rather untouched, save for a flimsy barrier made of wire and stakes just before its end. How did you find this place? Well, there's this other spot, just like this one that I'm told the kids call Lookout Point. It's just across from us, actually. Stan points to the spot opposite the car, straight ahead. Huh. The place is infested with teenagers, though. Saw it myself when I drove up here to help Dipper with the girl situation. Teenagers. Gross. Exactly. It hits you more fully now that you're here with Stan. Alone together, away from the world as you know it. You're thrilled, anxious, and suddenly don't know what to do with your hands. My hands are sweating. Like, my hand on, normally I suffer from mouse hand. I get, cold hands from having my hand on my mouse. My hand is, uncomfortably sweaty. A nervous giggle escapes you, and Stan offers a kind and reassuring smile in return as he slings his arm along the back of his seat, crossing his leg over the other. The casual air is contagious, and you're thankful for it. So, how'd you kill time in a place like this for 30 years? Besides all the shack and secret portal stuff. Stan laughs, scratching his cheek. Well, as you know, full of surprises. I'd skip town every now and then for actual supplies or a promising hookup. Hookup? Jesus criminy. But as the shack became a household name, I had to stay put for longer and longer, so I'd make do trying to enjoy the small town thing. You settle in, you're not budging until he elaborates. Like what, though? The fun stuff. Like disco nights? Stan scans the horizon, looking for something. Okay, there. See the bowling place? Used to have a team there. We were really good, thanks to yours truly. Until this wet blanket Toby came on board and had to use bumpers. Like a baby. Again, you didn't mean to laugh. Yikes. You got that right. Aside from that, there's this great taco joint and bar. The kids like to go to the arcade, and the mini golf place is pretty decent. He starts counting on his fingers. There's a mall, a creepy animatronic pizza place, a public pool, which I would not recommend, by the way, unless you're into sitting in strangers' filth. All that sounds pretty dang fun, minus the filth part. Sounds like there's actually a lot to do around here. It's weird, ain't it? It's like, you'll never hear about a place, but if the situation calls for it, pow, it's right here in town. You really like hearing Stan talk. About anything, really. The way he emotes with his hands, the grit in his voice, and the gradual increase of enthusiasm when he gets passionate, even about something small. And of course, he never fails to make you laugh. You could listen to him all night long. So you're prepared to do just that, adjusting your legs into a more relaxed position. Nothing wrong with taking advantage of the legroom, these wide bench seats. What about the graveyard, that factory on the cliff nearby, that weirdly shaped building? Okay, so the graveyard is where Robbie's parents, the Valentinos, would be. The factory on the cliff nearby is where Dipper and Gideon faced off. The weirdly shaped building. This is running on very long. But it's the date. It's the date of my dreams. Let's go with the weirdly shaped building. That's the club. You shoot him a look. Stan makes it through his next words laughing. That's the name, honest. You snort. Clever? The name might be questionable, but the place is nice enough to only let you in if you're rich. Only ever managed to sneak in there once. Bad vibes there, even for somebody like me. Worst of all, the food was mediocre. Not the kind of quality I didn't pay for. I guess ask about more. Let's do the graveyard. Nothing special there. Not even that spooky. Sure, the grave of America's lost president is there, and something about a national treasure, but I went there myself for artifact inspiration. There wasn't even a decent headstone to steal. The factory on the cliff. You know, I'm surprised that place is still even there. There used to be this attraction in the middle of town. This brat, Gideon Gleeful. Hold on. Gleeful? Like Bud Gleeful? The car dealership guy Gleeful? Yep. Gideon is Bud's snot-nosed kid. They used to run the scam that made money off poor suckers' hopes and dreams by posing Gideon as a psychic. Oh no. It's just as tasteless as you're probably imagining. He'd even dance around and sing like a monkey in a tux. So what? I had a real monkey at the shack back then. Wore a hat and everything. Anyway, these idiots obviously ate it all up. He became my biggest competition and even an even bigger pain in my ass. That old factory is where they used to make his merchandise. What happened to Gideon? The kid had some realizations, I guess, like a lot of people in this town. Supposedly, he's trying to get that silver spoon out of his mouth and be a normal tween like the rest of them. But who knows? Haven't heard about him this visit, so I can't tell you for sure. That must be a good sign. There's a lull in the conversation, a moment where the both of you are simply admiring the view. It seems you've inched your way closer to Stan as he was speaking, because all of a sudden you realize that your leg isn't all that far from his. The reflection of the outside light on Stan's glasses keeps you from being able to read his expression from this position. Scooch a little closer. You very nearly closed the gap between you both, and it would have been smooth too, if not for the creak of the patent leather seats as you shift. Oops. Stan's grin tells you he noticed. Damn, time for a diversion. What's that on the water tower over there? Ah, that old chestnut. What's it look like to you? A rain cloud. It's a giant muffin. I know Robbie painted an explosion, but it's a giant muffin. Looks like a muffin. Not sure why anyone would choose that as a symbol for vandalism. Maybe it scares the hell out of anyone with a wheat allergy. Maybe it's a bran muffin. He wiggles his fingers like he's telling a spooky story. Maybe it's a bran muffin. Stop. With extra raisins? You know, I almost died up there once. It's a real doozy of a story. You take the bait. Oh, do tell. And so he does, with his usual flourish, painting a picture of the time he and his great-niece bravely scaled the tower and nearly got shaken from it by a video game character come to life. Winners! Winners never lose! Just that line's so funny. You find yourself with another chance to move closer. Yeah, we're gonna scooch even closer, man. Stan's speech falters a bit as you inch closer, and the side of your hand brushes his, but he continues when you leave it there. So I say to Mabel, having just looked death straight in its dumb, ugly face. Finally, your thigh meets his, and suddenly he seems to have a pretty persistent itch on the back of his head, because he can't stop rubbing it. And so, that punk Robbie learned his lesson eventually, but you know how his type are. I think I have an idea. Yeah. Your eyes meet Stan's, and you hope to God he can't tell how your heart is hammering in your chest. Screw it, here goes nothing. You steel your nerves, moving and gently resting your head on Stan's shoulder, leaning into his side. You hold your breath as you focus on the water tower in front of you, worried about what look he could be giving you. Stan clears his throat, pulling his arm away from you, and for a moment the feeling that you just crossed a line makes you mentally curse yourself, until he lets out an embarrassingly fake yawn and his arm above his head out, resting it across your shoulders. The fake, come on, man. That's so bad. You're so excited by his touch and your success that it takes you a moment to realize the yawn and stretch. He just used that old cliche. I just called it out, too. And moreover, it worked. Let him enjoy his victory. You can't help but giggle. What? Stan reddens, smiling sheepishly down at you. You attempt to compose yourself. Nothing. You settle into your new spot in his hold, and he seems to relax a bit too. You're lucky you're so cute. And endearing. Stan's chest puffs out at that with a laugh. Oh, you just said that out loud, didn't you? You'd be surprised at how little I've heard that before. Now that you're against his side, you really don't know what to do with your damn hands. Are they feeling a little extra sweaty? My hands are so wet. Curse these leather seats. No, if I was sitting, if I had something like leather, I could squeak. This is... Oh, yeah, let's just get real I'm, trying to think. So if we're bumped up against each other, you could take one of the arms and, wrap it around, right? And then you could, in theory, put the other one on his thigh. And then you'd be... Yeah, right? Because you got your legs, you got arm, head. I mean, you could hug him, yeah. I'm gonna rest one on his thigh. We're just, again, as casually as possible, you decide to rest a hand on Stan's leg, just above his knee. At your contact, Stan coughs on his own surprise. You're about to remove yourself from him and apologize, but he stops you by beating you to it. Sorry, I'm fine. It's fine. I just had a little something stuck in my, Philagula? For a moment, you dare not say a thing and close your eyes. I just butchered a word that I've never seen before in my life. That's fine. This is normal for me. There's that scent again. That overtone of cheap cologne mingled with leather, cigar smoke, and salt. From this proximity, in this car, it's just the right kind of overwhelming. You really can't believe this. Never in your wildest imagination could you imagine this is how your solo summer road trip would work out. But in this moment, you really can't imagine it any other way. You're just happy. I knew this image was coming. I still can't look at it. I knew this image was coming. Guys, I follow Solo Knight on Tumblr. You can't. Hey, Stan? Yeah? Thanks for your help. His eyes meet your own as he smiles down at you. No problem, kid. That's what kind souls like me do. You really are a lifesaver. Seriously. My car would have been a goner. And you rescued me from being bled dry by a mechanic, too. You can feel the rumble in Stan's chest as he hums. Crooks, all of them. Not even charismatic about it. That's certainly a plus, too. Your hand moves upward to his broad chest, just below the open V of his shirt. Please, Sherry, you're so bold. I'm not only thankful for a place to freeload, though, Stan. I've actually had a really incredible time here. Seriously, I'm the luckiest person to ever be ripped out of the forest with their car, since it was by such a nice family. Better than a simple trip to the Mystery Shack, huh? Definitely. He's big old softy, but we're like smooshed up together in this car. This is like the perfect kissing moment. I'm gonna tell him how I feel. I hate my life. Mabel's words come back to you, and despite your doubts begging you to not say anything stupid, your heart is yelling at you to tell him already, damn it. You know what? Yeah, if everything goes south, you're already about to pack your bags and leave. You never even have to think the name Gravity Falls ever again. Alright? Yep. Here goes. Stan, I really like you. You focus on the gold chain just by your fingertips and toy with it, avoiding eye contact to keep your nerves while you've got them. You can hear him swallow thickly despite your heart thrumming in your ears. I've really enjoyed getting to know you these past couple weeks. Even when you got me shot at, I can't tell you how much of a relief it's been not to not only escape death by complete boredom, but also to find myself having some of the most fun I've ever had, period. You need an extra gulp of air for this next part. Thank you for tonight. I'm glad you brought me here. And I'm gonna miss you. Don't make that sad face at me, man. Don't look at me like a kicked puppy. Oh, God. I glance up, and there Stan is, looking at you with a mix of emotions you can't quite place. You think you feel his pulse skip a beat under your palm, and you're sure your own does the same as he looks away. His pronounced jawline is further exaggerated in the shadows, and you see it clench before he faces you again. You don't know who leans in first, or more, or anything, but suddenly Stan's hand is cupping your face, and his lips are on yours. Oh, guys. It's sweet, but somewhat clumsy, as his glasses remind you of their existence by hitting you in the cheek as he leans in close. You can't help but hum against his lips. And, oh God, you forgot to breathe. You part, both of you breathing just a bit heavier than before. Stan's big dumb grin is accompanied by pink dusted cheeks. Are you okay? I've said this before. This has happened to me. This in a vehicle. This is my life right now. I swear to God. This happened to me. And not the are you okay, it was just, was that okay? And then I'm pretty sure I legitimately said, I think we could do better. Stan laughs, cupping your face and bringing his lips to yours once again. He's more confident now, more sure with his hands. This kiss lasts longer and shows no sign of stopping anytime soon, but from this angle, it's still a bit awkward, side by side like this. Stan makes a noise of surprise against your mouth as you grab him by the collar and drag him down with you to the seat, but then he laughs and you feel his smile on yours. The kiss deepens before Stan breaks it to instead kiss along your neck, your collarbone, his stubble feeling absolutely wonderful on your skin. Absolutely not, I do not want the rug burn. Thank you. Your fingertips have ruffled his hair beyond repair at this point, and you have to admit you prefer it this way. You get caught up in the moment, in his embrace, his kisses, each more intoxicating than the last, and his hand caressing your sides and waist in a way that makes Stan's name leave your lips. You both jolt, your heart flipping and Stan's head shooting up with the noise so fast that it hits the roof of the car with an embarrassing clunk. He swears furiously and rubs his head as he looks for the source of the disruption. What the? Sorry, Mr. Pines! You bolt up at the voice, distant and slightly echoing. Stan practically growls, pinching the bridge of his nose and hiding his face in shame. Sweet Moses. It was an accident, we swear! Oh god. Stan flips on his headlights to illuminate another car with two people inside it, directly across from you, at lookout point. It must have pulled up while you two were not looking. Stan kicks open his door so hard and fast you're amazed it's still on its hinges as he steps out. I'm gonna kill you, Robbie! Robbie? Are you serious? Sure enough, the figure in the driver's seat, scared out of his absolute wits, fits the description of an angsty-looking emo teen. There's a girl in the seat next to him with purple hair who seems to be trying to hide behind her phone as she slaps the boy's shoulder. We were just leaving! We didn't see your car when... I don't remember your last name right now, Robbie, but you're gonna hope I never find out! You're dead! You hear me, kid? Dead! Oh god, the other car screeches the rest of the way out of sight at that. A couple more accidental honks and a final "I'm so sorry" being thrown your way as it goes. That was absolutely mortifying. And although it's definitely the most embarrassed you've ever been, you kind of feel bad for the guy. Imagine being on the other end of this situation. Stan flops back into his seat, swearing under his breath for a moment before sighing. He rubs his face with his hands before looking to you. Well, that happens. He seems nice. Stan grumbles, shutting his car door and starting up the engine. Can't even drive to a cliff and get any privacy in this town. Guess we should start heading back. He offers you an apologetic smile. We should, but can we take the scenic route? Yeah, absolutely. Oh god. Luckily, the scenic route is also the long way home. You're mostly joking about a scenic route back to the shack during this time of night, but both Gravity Falls and Stan have a way of amazing you to no end. Little bioluminescent mushrooms are sprinkled along the path, on the trees, in perfect rings. Stan drives slowly, and you take advantage of it to marvel at the greenish glow. This is incredible. There's a lot more where these came from, or so I've heard. There's a gnome forest somewhere around here. Never been, 'cause, well, gnomes. But maybe Ford can let us know if there's somewhere like it without the pests. You rest your head on the windowsill, watching the toadstools of all shapes and sizes go by, counting them. I'd really like that. With each passing minute, the rumble of the road and the thrum of the car seem to add another weight to your eyelids, and suddenly, your fatigue catches up with you. You alright? You hum an affirmative, and Stan takes you at your word. Well, this could be better. Sliding up next to him, you bring Stan's free arm that's not on the wheel around yourself, like it was earlier this evening, and he chuckles. That's right, get yourself comfortable. You let your eyes fall closed, content. Wake me up if there's a nymph or something. Something. Will do, Sherry. Okay, I'm gonna stop this here. We made it through that date. I should have stopped probably halfway through, but There was no way I was gonna stop in the middle of that. There was no way. No way. We made out in his car. Oh, poor Robbie Valentino. R.I.P. You're going to die. Thank God your parents, you know, are, more funeral directors, mortuary folk. Oh, good lord. My brain's so full of holes right now. I'm dying a little bit. I'm so sweaty. I gotta stop. So we're gonna save. We're gonna save. It's like, save. Oh, God, guys. Okay, so thanks for joining me on this extra long episode of Swooning Over Stans. I hope it was worth it, because, oh my goodness, that was amazing. If you stuck with me this long, leave a comment down below, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week with more Swooning Over Stans. Bye!